So I noticed on Instagram the other day you posted a photo of yourself 2 years ago to the day at Rod Laver getting a win.
Yeah.
And you had a little hashtag Bobby Knuckles. Are you finally starting to come around to the nickname?
No, like I always liked the nickname, but it's not going to replace my fight name. So I like the fight name, The Reaper, but Bobby Knuckles is a pretty cool nickname.
That's an awesome name. I think you should definitely keep it up. All right, so you got the GQ Sportsman of the Year award the other day. I know you're not massive on these sort of accolades, but how was the whole event in itself?
No, it was a great event, and it was great to see the sport being accepted in the company that it was. The event was beautiful. There were a lot of nice people there, a lot of stars, and it was my first time to that sort of red carpet event. So yeah, it was an enlightening experience.
Was it a long night for you, or when did you get your award? Were you first up, or?
I got my award like second from the end, so it was a bit of a long night, but it was good. It was good. All the speeches that were made that night were very nice, and it was interesting. You know, I was quite interested in all of it.
And the fact that Dana White came out for that event to give you the award, was that quite a nice feeling to know you got the support of the big boss?
Yeah, you know, it's very heartening to see that Dana White made the appearance, he made the effort to come out, and yeah, it's great to know that I have that sort of backing.
When you're seeing yourself these days on the back of buses and getting awards like that, you're starting to get recognised a lot more?
Yeah, you know, I'm definitely being recognised a little bit more in terms of just on the street around in Australia. Not so much overseas. But yeah, it is what it is. If people appreciate my work, you know, I appreciate that, and I thank them for that usually. I do thank them for that. But it's good, it feels good.
Now I want to ask you about some of the work you do with the Gracie Pathways program out at Smeaton Grange. You just able to tell us a little bit about that and the work that you do there?
Yeah, so over at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Smeaton Grange, we're in collaboration with the TAFE New South Wales running a GAP program, Gracie Aboriginal Pathways program, and we get kids and men and women from all around New South Wales to come in and do their certificate 3 and 4 and diplomas in fitness and health, and you know, we use Gracie Jiu-Jitsu as a conduit for that, and yeah, it's had great success. We've had a lot of success with the kids. It's been great networking for the kids to meet us, the kids, men and women, and it's been great working with them and just doing some great things there.
Out of all the things you do, is that one of the things you're more particularly proud of, just because of the beneficial aspects it does have to the wider community?
Yeah, definitely. So you know, it's a big thing. The GAP program for me, I've learned so much about myself and about Australian culture and about Australian history than anything else I've ever done. And that's just from talking to these kids from out near Ballina and Moree and speaking to them and interacting with them and seeing how they grew up and what's going on out there, and just seeing the difference between, you know, people growing up here in Sydney and people growing up in Ballina. You know, it's been a great growing period for me as a person.
And the team you have got around you at Gracie Smeaton Grange has grown in the last couple of years, and the fighters you've got, I saw Jacob fight the other week on Hex, David Francis is doing well, Izzy is doing well, the team that you're starting to grow there. Tell me a little bit about that and everything at Gracie Smeaton Grange.
Yeah, so we at Gracie Smeaton Grange are very picky with our team, very picky. So we don't have a huge team. We have just you know, a handful of guys that is trying to get it. A handful of guys that we're all trying to help each other grow. We're trying to make each other better, and we've had a lot of success with this system of just trying to be there for each other, support each other, and train hard. You know, Jacob just, like you said, Jacob just won his fight at Hex. Dave just won his fight. Izzy's got 2 Australian titles. So you know, the fact that they're all middleweights is kind of great for me. You know, we have a great team around us, and you know, that's just the training partners. Our coaching staff is great across the board. You know, we have Fabricio Iter, Alex Prates down in Gracie. We're doing our wrestling, grappling, MMA stuff, and we have Justin Fitzgerald and Justin Lang looking after us. Like we have the best team in the world, and you know, we honestly feel that. So every time we step into these fights, there's undoubted confidence in our ability to do what we need to do.
When did this team come together? Because I know you were at another gym before that. Like, how long has that clique been together, so to speak?
Like we've all been together for a long time now. You know, we've moved around, but it's always been as a group. So like me, Jacob, David, and Izzy, we've known each other since way back when. You know, I remember Izzy when he looked like a little fridge back before I got into the UFC. So yeah, it was. We've known each other for a long time. We've trained at different places. We've moved around at different places together. We've split up, but we really, the last few years, we've all come together and we've settled down in a program and a system that works for us. Like the system that, you know, has taken me all the way through the gauntlet of the middleweight division and to the world title.
So there's plans in place for these guys to get on a similar trajectory to you and obviously try to get in the UFC. That's the ultimate goal, of course.
These guys are already at UFC caliber level. They're already there. We could get them a fight if we wanted to. We could just throw them in there because they've done enough to get a fight in the UFC. You know, with the way the sport's progressed in Australia, it's easy, not easier. It's there are so many more opportunities for mixed martial artists to break into the UFC than there ever has been. So Jacob, David, Izzy, and Jacob, they're already at that level. It's just a matter of completing their skill sets. They're young guys. We want to make sure that they're equipped with the abilities not to just get in the UFC and have a couple of fights, but to stay there, to dominate it, to get into the top 10, the top 5, the titles. And you know, I think they're on a path well and true to do that.
Now, your last fight against Yoel Romero was a tough fight. How long does it take to get, like, were you hurt for long after the fight? How long does it take you to get back to normal after a 5-round fight like that?
No, it wasn't that hard. It was, you know. No, it's
easy fight.
I was just cruising, just coasting. No, it was a tough fight. Guy hits like a truck. The fact that I've had to sustain injuries like through both fights was annoying. But it is what it is. That's just the game we're in. After a fight like that, it's very good. It's very important to make sure that you recuperate and rest and recover properly. You can't just rush back into fights again and damage your body like that. Your body and your brain, they're very important pieces, you know. So yeah, I had to make sure everything was good and whole before I got back into training. Obviously, my hand was actually broken, so it was hard for, like, I had to let that heal and recover and recuperate because my hand's kind of my money makers. Yeah.
How glad are you to have Yoel Romero in the rear view? You fought him twice. It must have been, however many weeks of camp just thinking about the one guy. To have him back and have a new opponent in mind, how refreshing is that to you when you go to training every day?
Oh, it's different. I've had to fight Yoel Romero for like the past year and a half, so it's a fresh change. Romero's a tough fight for anyone. So I look forward to fighting Kelvin Gastelum. He's a tough guy though, and I have to give him the respect he deserves. Otherwise, he's going to run through me.
What were your interactions with him like on The Ultimate Fighter?
We were very civil with each other. He respected me, gave me space. I respected him, gave his space. His coaching staff were very respectable guys as well. So, as a whole, it was as pleasant as it could be.
And his skill set, how do you think this fight is going to go? Do you think he will try to stand with you, try to take you down? How do you think this fight could go?
I think he thinks that he's better than me at wrestling, he's better than me at grappling, and he can hit me with that left hand. What's funny is that everybody I fought thinks they can hit me with their left hand. So, I think he thinks he's better than me. I think he's going to come in there underestimating me a little bit, and I think he's going to get a rude surprise.
And on the show during the Coaches Challenge, you proved that you are a lot fitter than him. You lapped him in the running race. Is little mental edges like that, do they give you confidence?
It doesn't give me confidence, but I hope it shakes him up because there's no off season for me. There's no off switch. I'm not out just chilling until the next fight. I'm training.
And we just saw your first ever interaction with Israel Adesanya. He's had a massive 10 months in the division.
Yeah.
What did you say to him and how was that?
I said, hey, I can't remember what I said. Hi. Cool dude. Went for an awkward hug. It was cool.
What do you make of his rapid rise?
I think it's great. I think it's great for him that he's gone through the division like the way he has been. I think he's an exciting fighter. He's exciting to watch. yeah, I hope he just keeps making huge waves and brings in that pay-per-view next fight.
Do you think he deserves a title shot if he beats Anderson?
Hey?
Do you think he deserves a title shot if he beats Anderson?
Oh, that's neither here nor there. Like, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. My whole mentality for fighting in the division and fighting in the UFC is that UFC lines them up and I'll knock them down. I've never skirted away from any fights. So UFC have put Kelvin Gastelum in my way, and I intend to run him over.
Assuming the winner of Israel versus Anderson Silva does get the title shot, who would you prefer to match up against?
I can't even think about it. To be honest, because one, I don't care. So like, I'll fight either one of them, even both of them, you know, at the same time. It happens. But Kelvin has all my thoughts and focus and interest at the moment. That's the only guy that I can fight right now, and it's the only guy I should be focusing on. He is a tough, young, hungry stud, and if I don't give him the respect he deserves, he's gonna hurt me, man.
And you're an Aussie boy. You must be excited to be fighting in Australia again next February. Are you a little bit disappointed it's not in Sydney this time?
I don't know. Like, Melbourne's close enough, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's close enough. I'll still get like a good stay at home before I go back. It would have been good to fight in Sydney, to fight in my hometown, but Melbourne, like I said, close enough. It is great to bring the fight back to Melbourne, Rod Laver Arena. I fought there before and it was unbelievable. So I'm looking for a really good, repeat of that.
And just last couple of questions. Mark Hunt's last ever fight this Sunday. Is that a guy that you watched growing up? And what do you think of his career so far?
I think his career is great. He has a huge legacy in the sport of K1 and UFC. So yeah, whatever he moves on to after this fight is great for him. I'm a huge fan of his and friend, and I'm very excited to see him fight on Sunday.
And a prediction, Tai Tuivasa, JDS in the main event of UFC Adelaide. How do you think they will play out?
I think JDS is he's a weathered fighter, and he has a lot of experience. But Ty's a tough guy. I think Ty is going to make huge waves in the division during this fight and after this fight. I think Ty is one of the few dudes that can go the whole way. So I look very, very forward to seeing him fight.
And what do you think about the Australian New Zealand MMA scene? Seems to be we're making waves all across the world.
Yeah.
Do you think you've played any part in that?
Oh, I'd like to think that I have. Yeah, I'm proud of my Australian and New Zealand culture. I was born in NZ but raised in Australia, so I'm very proud of that. You can see I get a lot of my strength from my Māori background. So yeah, I'm very proud of that. And the fact that we're getting new athletes every day, high caliber athletes. Like, this card is stacked with Australian, New Zealand fighters, and to see that is so heartwarming, because the sport has come so far from when it started, and I think we've put the world on notice that we're here to stay, guys.
And just lastly from me, we're taking predictions on how you think the Mark Hunt fight's going to end.
Yeah, Mark Hunt hits him and the guy dies. That's it. Like, that's how all these fights go. Or something happens, who knows. But I think Mark Hunt will hit him, and that'll be it. It'll be game over.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Awesome, Rob. Thank you very much.